Hey, welcome back to Built Not Born. Wrapped up my Monday morning workout and got it back into some strength training and finished that up with some push-ups and deadlifts today. Had a great experience over the weekend on that triathlon, the sprint distance, 500 meter swim, 14-mile bike, and 5K run. And just wanted to do a recap here on the bike route since I didn't get to get you any race footage, and so via Google Maps I'll take you through that and show you the hills and whatnot and explain what I was thinking on the bike ride. But first, show you a little bit of the Monday morning workout and some pictures that the Mac Triathlon group took along the route, and then we'll get into it. Let's go. Good morning. Happy Monday. Today is going to be strength day, so I'm going to get the push-ups in with some deadlifts, I think. Yeah. And if it quits raining, well, it's done right now, but I think it's supposed to rain a little bit more. Hopefully later today, if I get work wrapped up, I can get the bike out. So we'll see. Get those wheels turning, but for now it's push-ups and deadlifts today. Let's get it. So part of this channel in the description says watch along as I train for an Ironman with limited resources. One of those being cash for gear. My Brooks, my newest shoes that I showed in a previous video, are my running shoes, my lifting shoes, my outdoor shoes. They're everything. So when I come here, gotta clean them off. So we keep the floors clean here. But one shoe for everything. They're comfortable, love them. So here today, 10 sets of 10 push-ups and 3 to 5 deadlifts. Let's get it. Starting off at 135. We'll see when I decide to move up. It's been a while since I've done any deadlifts or clean and jerks or squats or anything, so had a nice conversation after the race on Saturday with my friend Rob, who's done some Ironman stuff, and gave me a good reminder that we need to get some strength training in, so here we are. All right, set number 6 with 4 to go, bumping it up now just a little from 135 to 155, so just throwing 10s on each side. All right, finished that up. Felt good to get some deadlifts in again. It's been a while. And didn't even have to put away my weights. Hey, the next guy that came in, oh, it's raining. The next guy that came in said, hey, we're just going to use those. You can leave them out. I said, all right. Sweet. So 10 sets of 10 push-ups and 5 deadlifts, and at like set 6 then I bumped it up from 135 to 155. So not a bad day. Legs aren't too sore or anything after having some time off of lifting, but if this rain stops later, which I think it's supposed to, we'll see how wet it is, because it kind of rained a lot last night. But I'm really itching to get on the new bike. We'll see if that happens today or not. I know got quite a bit of work to do also, so we'll see. But strength training, check. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Okay. So this is where we came out of the 500-meter swim. It was a 50-meter pool, so 5 laps back and forth. Ended up pretty much like everyone else, walking the shallow end. So I am not in water shape yet, and that helped a lot not to have to be able to stop at each end to catch my breath. But came out of the swim, out of the gate here, and the transition area was over by these trees in the shaded area. So came in, dried off as best I could, slipped my socks on over some damp feet, and got ready, got the bike off the rack, exited out the transition area over here, and came onto the street where we headed east. And none of these trailers or anything were here, so those are actually all torn down, and that's an open lot now. It looks a lot better. Was blown away by all the volunteers. They had some at each corner with stop signs to stop traffic, so that was neat. Same up at this next intersection, which was really busy, with the gas station on the corner. Nice gentleman here stopping traffic for us. So after checking a few times, got to zoom through that. As you can see, so far in town, pretty flat. Here comes the hospital. Didn't need that at any point during the race, so that was a win. And pretty flat here yet, as you can see. This is also part of the run route going out. That was a 5K run, and the turnoff for the run was here, where you head west into town before going back north a little bit, and then back west before heading south back to the pool. I actually kind of enjoyed the run, and I hate running, but here comes our first kind of downhill here, so I picked up some pretty good speed. And there were more volunteers at this intersection stopping traffic, which is really nice, especially coming up on this bridge where there's not a lot of space for vehicles and bikes to get through at the same time. Made it through that. Coming up here on our first hill, and actually stayed on the bike and made it through this one. Really slowed down towards the top. Didn't know what I was in for, but made it through that hill, and it'll flatten out here now. I don't know if you can tell or not on the screen. It's kind of just a slight incline the whole way out, but got some nice prairie views here. Not a ton of wind. It was a really nice morning for a bike ride. It started to get warm kind of towards the end of it, but that's what I liked about the tri-suit, is it kept me cool. I felt like coming out of the pool. for pretty much the whole bike ride and run. More prairie views here, lots of trees. And this is when I started to kind of get past. I was one of the first 2 or 3 groups of swimmers because they started the slower ones up front. And so those that are seasoned and faster were towards the back of the swim, and that's when some of those guys started passing me. And up here a little further is one gal that was wearing a Team USA tri-suit. It was so loud, her bike, when she passed, because she was going so fast. I thought a car was coming behind me. It was kind of wild. But as you see there, more open prairie views. And intersection here, more volunteers around the corner stopping traffic for us once again. And this is where we make our, it's basically a square before heading back into Mitchell. Here comes the downhill, and this is really where I first started noticing how wobbly the front wheel was getting on the downhills, and that's when I started utilizing my brake a little bit, actually, which I didn't want to do on a downhill. It kind of flattened out after that here, coming up on the first big hill. And this is where the first time I hopped off the bike, across the river here, hopped off the bike as I was getting past pretty much. I think probably right up in here is where I hopped off. And as I was walking my bike up to the top of the hill, the gal passing me said, 2 down, 2 or 3 to go. And I'm like, hills? And she said, yeah. And she wasn't wrong. So got to the top of that hill, but as you can see, still here, a slight grade increase. Let's see where we're at on the map here. More open prairie views. And once we got further down this, part of this was new tar, so that was really nice. Once we got onto that, it was smooth sailing. Beautiful day again for a bike ride, not a ton of wind. Appreciate y'all watching along here. If you want more content, I post my daily push-ups and some more triathlon stuff over on my Instagram at Saskera, Saskera. Have some fun over there. So this is pretty much flat. Coming up on the intersection where more volunteers were stationed, stopping traffic for us. And this road was a little bit narrower, but a lot of it was updated from what you see on Google Maps here. So it was a lot nicer than this. And just a tad bit wider, not by too much. Let's see if I get down on the map so I don't miss my turn. Pretty flat here yet. All right, coming up on the turn here, as you can see, kind of completes that square. But we're coming up on my favorite part of the bike ride, even though there's some more hills. Really enjoyed the scenery. All right, coming up on a downhill. I'm fairly certain I stayed on the bike for this one and made it to the top. But for my first triathlon, I felt like this was fairly intense 14 miles. I mean, it was doable. Oh, that's where I needed to turn there. All right. So coming up here is where we'll get to my favorite part. Here comes a big downhill with some winding curves. This is where I really picked up speed. Looking out over the river. That's a pretty windy river there, so got to cross it again here. And then ride right alongside of it. It was awesome. Up here before the corner, somewhere in here, past a guy that was fishing. That was pretty neat. And then it's another big hill. Actually, this was a longer walk for me here. Somewhere right up in here is where I got off and pushed the bike to the top of the hill. And actually, at one point on the walk, I looked behind me and there was someone else doing the same. I don't know what else is out there for races and routes that you've done, but I live up in a fairly flat area. Unless I go east, then I got some practice on some pretty nice hills, but haven't ridden a lot either, so I didn't know what to expect. Back to some flat territory here. Slight downhill. Cross another bridge. Now we're coming back up on the intersection that we passed earlier where the volunteers were stopping traffic. And this is where you head back into town. You got another uphill battle here to get back into town. And now it's going to be fairly flat all the way back to the aquatic center, which I've already showed you, so I don't need to go the rest of the way back, I suppose. But certainly thank you for watching along. I learned a lot on that bike ride, and kind of glad now looking back I did it with the mountain bike. Put a lot of power into that, and now I know what I need to do. And I think with this new giant bike that I got, I can cut like 10 to 15 minutes off my time. Have some work to do to figure out gear shifting, but should be golden. And that was the 14-mile bike ride on my first sprint triathlon. Appreciate you all watching along, and we'll see you again soon.